So in the previous example of the size and the color and the size, it would be nice to restrict maybe what the values could be. We probably won't accept. We certainly wouldn't accept chair as a color. We should probably restrict the size, the choices of our colors to colors that we actually offer. So for instance, let's say we only offer red, yellow, and blue. We can actually define those as the choices in argparse. And so if the user gives anything that's not red, yellow, or blue, they're going to get an error message. And similarly for the size, we don't want to take a negative number for the size, nor do we want to probably take the 1,000. We want to do something like in a range from 2 to 18. Or similarly, maybe we want the sizes to be small, medium, and large. So you could change this from an int to a string and change the choices to small, medium, and large. So when you define those like this, and for instance here I'm saying I want purple and a size of 1, purple is going to be rejected because that's not in the choices of red, yellow, and blue. And that's what argparse is doing here for us. It's saying, nope, that wasn't an okay value. And similarly, I can say red, but size -1, and argparse says, nope, you have to the invalid choice -1. And I really like the feedback that argparse gives you here. It says you gave me -1, that's not okay, choose from these good values. So you can see right away though that if your choices are going to be like 1 to 100, well, it's going to print 1 to 100, and that's going to probably be a bit overwhelming to give to the user. There's a better way that we could validate that. But if you have a limited number of choices, it's really nice to use choices with argparse to handle that part. So going back to positional arguments, if the positional arguments, if there were, say 2 of them or 3 of them, and they were all the same kind of thing, I think that's a good use for positional arguments. So for instance, this is a program that will add 2 numbers. And so I can use the in-args for the number of arguments to describe that I want. So this is a positional argument because numbers does not start with a dash. It's a bare word, numbers. And so I'm saying I want exactly 2 numbers. And they both of them must be parsable as integers. And so with that definition, I can actually unpack numbers into N1 and N2 because I know there's going to be 2 values there. I will not get to this line of code if getargs fails. I can unpack them into N1 and N2, and then I can say, for instance, N1 plus N2 is equal to N1 plus N2. And what's important here is that these have been converted to integer values. So therefore, this would actually print the numeric addition, because if they weren't converted to ints, then they would be printed, for instance, 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. But if they had not been converted to ints, then the string 3 plus the string 5 is equal to 35, which would be the wrong answer. So this would be an instance where I would say more than one positional argument is pretty okay, and in fact makes for a really nice interface here, like I'm showing inargs to. This is going to add these 2 numbers, and I can just say 3, 5, and it will add them for us. Similarly, if you wanted to expand this program to add any number of arguments, 1 or more, you would change inargs to the plus sign, and now it's 1 or more. So before it was exactly 2, now I'm just saying 1 or more, and now this is going to be a list of numbers. Very important to understand that this will be a list. This is a bit of a dense piece of code, and if you're watching this at the end, I would actually hope that you completely understand what's going on here. If you're watching this at the beginning, don't worry, you'll learn about map, and you'll learn about the sum function and the format, and all this will make sense to you. But what I'm doing here is this for the format string, I want in the first thing, I want there to be the string plus in between each one of the numbers, but each one of those numbers is an actual integer value, which need to be converted to the string, to a string representation. So I'm mapping them through the string function, and then I'm joining them on the plus sign, and that's going to create a string that, like, if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. And then there's going to be a literal space, an equal sign and space, and then the string that's going to go in the next part is going to be the sum of those numbers. And so 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 10. This also works pretty gracefully for a single one number. Then, okay, 5 is equal to 5. Other values that you can use for inargs are the star to indicate 0 or more, and the question mark to be 0 or 1 argument.